about dollars and make it hurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's 3 o'clock, a little bit after. It is Saturday afternoon, which means, without a doubt, that it is time for the Big Time Show. I know that this is going to be as it usually is every year, at least since I've been doing it, somewhat of a, challenging time, if you want to say that, because my show is battling with college football for now, and I know mostly everybody is enjoying the real first weekend of college football, loaded with games, loaded with intrigue, loaded with hopes. Whoever your team may be, you have big aspirations, you have big dreams right now, and certainly is good. So I'll get into that in just a second. But welcome to the show. Won't be with you long because I too have big dreams and big aspirations. And mine are very simple. It's just to see my nephew play. That's it. Who plays? He's a wide receiver for the Wyoming Cowboys. Figure that one out. Wyoming Cowboys, and they will be playing Texas Tech at 5:30 here Memphis time. I don't know what part of the country you may be in, but in a very short few hours, I will be locked in as if I'm playing on the field. I'm so excited. I'm so excited just to see him. It wouldn't be my first time. He played with Vanderbilt last year, and the year before that. And he entered the transfer portal, and Wyoming quickly jumped on him and brought him out there. He will hit the field today. Just in case you wonder, his name is Devin Body Jr. He will be the number 2. He is one of the wide receivers for Wyoming Cowboys, and they're getting ready to play Texas Tech in a very short amount of time. I believe 5:30 here, Memphis time. So y'all know I'm juiced up. But before that, we got some Cowboy talk we need to talk about today. So hello to everybody. If you're watching by Facebook, you can share, of course. If not, you can hit that like button, and if you want to contribute to the podcast, you can by using those stars that you see there. And if you're on YouTube watching, you can use the super chat that is right there as well. So I am super hyped today. Super hyped. I feel like hollering. I feel like screaming. I feel like it today. That's what we say in preacher talk. I feel like it today. I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like it today. So I'm excited. I really don't even want to talk about Cowboys, to be honest with you. I want to talk about my nephew. But I'm not an expert on Wyoming football. I don't know what the offense they run because I don't watch Wyoming. I am a Michigan man. That's what I watch. Um, and then, of course, I love the University of Memphis, hometown here. But then there's another team that I like before we get started. One of you, most of you guys know that my favorite player, NFL wise, was Ray Lewis, and in a very close second was Deion Sanders. So anything that Deion is in, my eyes are glued to him. Love the way he played, obviously, like most of you did. He's a Cowboy. On another note, I don't know why Deion Sanders is not in the Ring of Honor. I don't care nothing about him playing with the Atlanta Falcons or he claiming Atlanta. Look, I don't care about that. Deion Sanders deserves to be in the Ring of Honor. I'm just going to throw that out there. That ain't really what I want to talk about, but he does. He's a Cowboy. I love him. Love the way his attitude. And then when he went into coaching, which he did in high school, and one of the top high school programs in the country. And then, of course, when he went to Jackson State, that took it to another level. Raised up the whole HBCU community. And then he took a bold step. A lot of people got mad at him for leaving Jackson State and all that kind of stuff. But when you're getting $5 million a year, you would leave too. I'm just telling you, man. Y'all can hate all you want to. It's easy for folks to talk about what you should and shouldn't do when you're not in position. You know what I'm saying? So you would have left too. But he went to Colorado, of course, as we all know. And y'all hold on a second. My daddy just called me. Hold on. Hey, Daddy.
Hey.
I'm on my show. I'm on my show, but yeah, what's going on?
No, I was going to ask you how you going to watch the game.
I'll be at the house. You can come on. You can come on. It's at 5:30. It's at 5:30 Memphis time.
It's at 6:30.
Yeah, that's Eastern time.
Eastern time.
Yeah, it's 5:30. It'll be 5:30 here.
I got smart televisions here.
But you're not gonna be able to get it because it's on CBS, and all of the smart apps they have. It's affiliated with ESPN, so all the ESPN Plus channels. So you're not gonna be able to get it there unless you order it real quick from DirecTV. That's the only way you'll be able to catch it from there. Like the channel, one of the channels is, I believe, 9531 and 9531, and you will have to order it. But I got it. I'm gonna have it over here. You got to call it in.
It shows it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got to get it. That's going to be at 5:30. Once you swing down to the time frame, you'll be able to see it, and you got to order that channel because it's not a national. It's a national televised game, but it's not. The regional coverage games. So that's the only way to get it. But if you want to come, I have it over here. All right, let me get to the show, Dad, because you live right now.
Okay.
Call Laura.
Okay.
All right, y'all forgive me for that. This live, but this is my daddy, so you know what I'm saying? I gotta answer the call. What I look like hanging up on my dad or say, hey. Now y'all don't call now. Don't y'all call. Because see, if you call, I ain't only my daddy get that. You understand? I know y'all laughing. My daddy called me. He didn't know I was on live. Here I am. I can't hang up on my daddy. You see what I'm saying? So it's live TV. We all trying to get to a TV so we can watch my nephew play today. Again, in Memphis time, 5:30. That'll be Central Time, If you guys are interested, it will be Eastern time, so 6:30. If you're on the West Coast watching, then of course that would be 3:30. But regardless, just find it on the guide. He'll be there today. I'm super excited. I'm so fired up. I feel like playing. All right. Now to Deion. You know, because he has always been a guy that has a lot of flash and swagger, and some would say arrogance, braggadocious, whatever way you want to call it. The one thing that you cannot say is that he didn't live up to it. And Deion talked a lot of talk this summer. He got the fan base in Colorado. They sold out spring games. They ain't never done that. So the prime effect, Coach Prime effect, is already taking place. He brought over everybody, told them young men, hey, some of y'all ain't gonna make it. That's what he told them now. Some of y'all can go on hit the transfer portal now because I'm bringing my own people, and hey, a lot of it rubbed people the wrong way. It did, and he said what he was gonna do. Now we got a whole season to go. But here's the thing about cause see, the haters were lined up today to pounce on Deion. Like they were heavy underdogs. I don't even know what the line was. Somebody put the line in here real quick so I can just tell folks, and I'm gonna speak to everybody that's here in a minute. But Deion and his players, because Deion didn't play. Okay, that's the other thing. Deion didn't play. What Deion does, man, that a lot of coaches just don't have. There's a level of motivation, and then there's the ultimate level of motivation. Deion Sanders, man, there it is, a 20.5 underdog today. 20.5 underdog today. I guess he shut all that up, didn't he? I guess the Buffaloes shut all that up, didn't he? Yeah. So you can't. This dude, man, he just makes people believe that they can fly like Superman in the air. Every coach is, some coaches are real great motivators. And then you get these people like the Ray Lewises of the world and the Deion Sanders that take motivation to a completely different level. This dude, man, has these guys, they really came in like they were the bullies. First drive, I think 13 plays, 73-yard touchdown, 700, just shut the crowd up. In the second half, of course, as we just saw, went back and forth. Now, the haters were sitting there around waiting so they could say, Deion, he's just a bunch of hype. He's doing a lot of talking. But my God, didn't he just shock the football world today? So week 1 is going to be dominated by, unless something crazy happened in the top 10, Deion Sanders is about to be the talk of the town. And there are going to be people just waiting for him. But see, here's the thing that we need to understand. Here's the new thing that Colorado fans should never talk about. And then I'm going to move to the Cowboys. Here's the thing that they should never say. Ladies and gentlemen, the Colorado Buffaloes won one ball game last year. One. I think they won 1-11. Well, all he got to do is win 2, and guess what? That's better than last year, but he got a big one today. Don't be surprised if Colorado is not ranked in the top 25 next week, because they just beat a ranked team that I believe, somebody correct me, Metris, I think you're here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe TCU was ranked 10th. I may be off on that. They were ranked in the top 25. I know that. So Deion has shocked the football world, and he put the college football world on notice. The Colorado Buffaloes, what about his son? And all folks were saying was that he can only do that at Jackson State because he playing in a lesser conference. I mean, it's the SWAC conference. It's you know what I'm saying. This HBCU school. Certainly, when Shador Sanders, the quarterback for Colorado, comes into the big lights and the Big 12, and we'll find out. He can't do what he did at Jackson State. I guess Shador's kind of shut that up, right? Yeah. See, a lot of folks got a Dave. You heard the interview with Dion. Dion said we kept receipts, so you know I can't. I'm quite sure I am gonna watch his press conference as soon as I get off on this because Dion, some folks got to eat some words today. It's a lot of folks got to eat a lot of words today, and I personally love it, to be honest with you. So I'm happy for Colorado, happy for Dion, and next week is just gonna be crazy. That's gonna be their first game in Colorado. I think they're playing Nebraska, and you already know, especially based off today, Colorado next week is gonna be crazy. Man, what are you saying? So big win for Coach Prime. That was just awesome. I'm just glad to see it, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it. He's gonna shock some more people before it's over with. All right, go ahead and share everybody real quick, because I guess I'll go ahead and talk about Dallas Cowboy talk. And let me speak to everybody. I'm sorry I didn't speak to everybody that's here on Podbean. What's up, Muhammad Ayman? I don't know, Rhode Island Red, Leroy Chance. These are people that popped in. Hello, everybody on Podbean. Tommy, what's up? It's Ty. Hi. Coach Dante, what's up? Scotty Ricks. Joe, my man, in the building. NBA Cypher with Mo. He said, my guy, salute. I saw you working with that new platform. You sold me on it. I'm not using that one today, though. I didn't use it today because I didn't, I had too much going on. I got a lot of stuff. I didn't practice with it, to be honest with you, last night, and I have enough time to really set up. I got to put the descriptions in. I needed to put some stuff in, and I didn't have time to do it. And plus, I'm broadcasting right now on 4 different channels: my YouTube channel, my Twitch, my Twitter, and of course the Facebook page. So I'm just there right now. So Metris, what's up? TJ, exactly. That's what I thought. They was 10th ranked. So Dion, an unranked team, just beat the 10th ranked team in the country. I think it's obvious that he will be, or the Buffaloes will be ranked in the top 25 at least next week, as they should be. I don't think it's no question about that. So that's big for Dion. All right, Cowboy fans, y'all ready? Because I've listened. I found some more stuff out this week about this Trey Lance and Cowboys that you've heard by now. I just hadn't had a chance to really talk about it. And when the more that you hear, the more that you have to come with some type of thought. And the Jerry Jones, Trey Lance, Dak Prescott saga, to me now, is fluid. In other words, I reserve the right to change my mind on some things. I'm going to change it now, and I won't be moved off this because of something real simple. See, some things require a lot of thought process, and then some things are just right there in your face, but you just don't want to admit it because you want to, hey, what up, Tavis? You just don't want to Uh, you know, some folks are wrong in their thoughts, and they so wrong that they know the truth is opposite of what they're thinking. But because they don't want to be wrong and always want to try to be right, they'll hold on to the wrong thought. That's not me. If I'm wrong, I'll get right in here and say I'm wrong. Or I'll say, you know, I'm going to change my mind. And I'm about to do that now. All right. He will be Demetrius. You ain't got to worry about it. He coming. He just that all that mean he doing something today. Trust me, he will be in here. What is going on here? All y'all on YouTube? I don't see nobody on Facebook. I'm shocked here. What's going on here? Okay, well anyway. Let me try to change that real quick. Let me try to change it. I don't get that. I mean, I'm appreciative of y'all that's on YouTube. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, I'm glad y'all here. Just I'm shocked when I don't see nobody on Facebook, and I'm kind of a slightly popular guy. I am. So I'm kind of shocked when I don't see this. So let me get to this real quick. Y'all hit that like button for me. On YouTube, then all you guys are on Facebook, you can send it to let me do that. All right, that's better. All right, here's what I want to say, and then I'm gonna move slightly to the Giants, and I'm gonna get out y'all way because I gotta admit my mind ain't all here. My mind is in Laramie or Wyoming right now. That's where it is. I'm getting a little nervous right now. I swear it feel like I'm playing. I'm serious. Here it is. What I found out this week and what has become clear, and I'm sorry if I'm a little slow and got to catch up. What I found out this week, and it was rumored, but it's very clear. Jerry Jones made the trade for Trey Lance by himself. He didn't tell nobody. It's reported. We know he didn't tell Coach McCarthy. That's what we found out this week. Everybody was just talking about did you tell Dak? And boy, he didn't tell Dak, but he didn't tell Coach McCarthy. He didn't tell Steven. That's what reported. He didn't tell Steven. This was a Jerry Jones special to go get him and bring him to Dallas. Now, last week, I said that, this, and it is true what I said. I don't think that this is really not about Dak this year. If anything, it's more about Cooper Rush this year than Dak. Everybody want to jump straight to Dak. Is Trey Lance about to take over all that? No, he's not going to do that this year at all. No, it's no even be. The only way Trey Lance will take over is unless Dak and Cooper Rush get hurt. That's it. This year. However, because see, Cooper Rush, you didn't bring this guy in here. Well, let me get back to what I was saying before I say that. If you're really talking about development, that kind of talk really comes from a head coach more say than an owner. And even though I know Jerry is a general manager, I get it. But to move a guy of that caliber as far as his draft pick where he was drafted, don't you think that somebody in the organization was supposed to know that? I mean, Jerry made the move on his own. And when you talk to Jerry, he keeps saying that this is going to bring dividends in the future. And that's where, and I had to listen to his interview over again And to be honest with you, it don't make sense unless there really is a future. And I've seen Jerry didn't go get this dude to have him to be number one and number three quarterback for the next 2-3 years. That's crazy. That's not gonna happen. I believe that before this year is over with, I would not be surprised if Trey Lance is our number two quarterback. They got to make that happen. They got to. I mean, they have to. Okay. I'm saying that has to happen this year, not next year. He has to he has to take over. Hey Greg, I'm sorry. Hey, true Cowboy fan. He has to take over Cooper Rush this year. Cooper Rush is the quarterback for this year that's in trouble. Big trouble. Matter of fact, it really don't make a difference what Cooper Rush does because of who Trey Lance is as far as where he was drafted and most importantly, his contract status. He has to take over the number two spot before this year is over. I anticipate that happening. No question. And then after this year is where the fun for that will begin. Now, let's use common sense, y'all. And this is why I keep trying to tell people. With Jerry, unless your name was Tony Romo, Sean Lee, DeMarcus Lawrence as in some form, Ezekiel Elliott, Tyron Smith, and now Zach Martin. If your names are those names there, then you didn't really have a hard time getting your money. You maybe had to set up a scenario to get it in the case of Ezekiel Elliott and DeMarcus Lawrence. They set up theirs perfectly, if you want to say that. If you remember, DeMarcus Lawrence said, listen, I know I need surgery on my pectoral muscle, but I'm not having it unless I have my contract. Jerry caved in, gave him his big contract, and then he had the surgery. Zeke pretty much said, because at the time, Ezekiel Elliott knew that the offense was ran really through him. And he knew that the Cowboys, almost kind of like Zach Martin this year, that Ezekiel knew that the Cowboys were not going to be nothing without him. And Ezekiel said, listen, I stay here in Cabo. I'll stay here in Cabo and just work out till I get my deal. Well, it worked. He got paid. Zach Martin just played somewhat of the same card, and as we know, Zach Martin just got paid as well. And, but Sean Lee and Tony Romo didn't have to ask for nothing. They got it. They got their money. They wasn't no struggle at all. They didn't have to wasn't no nothing. They came to them with the money, and it worked out for them. Everybody else had got to struggle. And I don't find it strange. Here's my thing. You see, before this Trey Lance thing, and this is the common sense thing I'm talking about, you don't have to agree with me. I'm just giving you my perspective on why I'm going to make my stance where it is now. See, before Trey Lance came into the picture or before he was available, all the talk over the offseason was Dak was one of those names that they said they were going to extend this season. Not this, he was one of them. He was one of those people. Everybody kind of figured that he would have gotten his contract by now or his extension by now. It has not happened. Still hasn't happened. Now you throw this element in of Trey Lance, and I'm just going strictly by what I think is common sense. And when you listen to Jerry kind of told on himself. Jerry said this is going to be reap um, dividends for now. And now he said, I don't even want him to even get on the field this year. You know, that's pretty much what he was saying, but it's going to bring dividends in the future. So here's my common sense question. If you're really planning on extending that for the next, what, 4 or 5 years, maybe, then how is Trey Lance going to bring dividends in the future? Because you see, if you give Dak another 4, 5-year extension, Trey Lance ain't gonna never hit the field unless he injured. Dak is your quarterback. I'm sorry, that's common sense to me. If that is the case, you just drafted the guy. You just drafted, hey Terry, exactly. You just drafted a guy who will, barring injury, will never hit the field. So how is that going to reap? You drafted the guy that was 3rd overall in the draft. You traded your 4th round pick for him. You brought him in to do what? You got to pick up a 5th-year option on him. Some kind of way you got to figure out if this guy can play to make a decision on whether you're going to extend him. You didn't bring this high of a drafted guy over to be a bench rider. And if he doesn't play, y'all, okay, and if he doesn't play, then if you're talking about trading him, well, that ain't gonna be good either. Why? Because he didn't play last year in San Francisco. He's only started 4 games in his career. If he don't start in Dallas, let's just play here. What if Dak some kind of way stay healthy for the next 2-3 years or so? I mean, in other words, he makes all 17 games. I'm not asking y'all if that's what's going to happen. I say let's just play and act like that will happen. Well, if that happens, Trey Lance not hitting the field. So you can't trade him because by then, he would not have started a game in 4 years. His trade value goes way down. He will still have on his resume that he only started 4 games. So you can't trade him and get, something great back at all. So it would be a wasted trade if this dude does not hit the field. It just don't make no sense. When Jerry said that, I said, oh, okay, well. He says that it's going to reap dividends in the future. And I'm trying to figure out, I thought y'all committed to Dak. Because if you committed to Dak, Trey Lance essentially has no future. Yeah, it sounds like common sense to me. Which then leads to my statement. If you have been following me, see, Jerry and Steven, I said this years ago. If you've been following me for 3 years, just go back to my Facebook page, go back to 2017, 16. I used to do this little thing called a Cowboy Report before all this, happened for me. And I wouldn't be on long, but I used to even just write it out, or I might go live. And when you add it up now, Jerry didn't tell nobody what he did until after the fact. That includes the coaching staff, and that includes his son, Steven. Nobody knew. It was all Jerry. Then when you say he gonna give dividends in the future, and then most importantly, Dak still don't have his extension yet. We seen Trey Lance's contract. We know that the Cowboys have the right to pick up a fifth year option in 2025. That's 2 years from now. We also know that Cooper Rush signed a 2-year deal, and it's cheap. 2 years for $6 million, $3 million. There ain't gonna be no harm done if the Cowboys release Cooper Rush. Why? Because they got Trey Lance, at least in their mind. So we ain't suffering if we lose it. There ain't gonna be much of a cap hit. No harm, no foul, whatever little hit it is on the cap, it won't bother Jerry at all. So like I said, he's gonna be our number 2 before this year over. I'm trying to go back to where I was because I'm convinced now. And I'm not even asking y'all. I'm telling y'all. They never believed in Dak Prescott. I know they talked the game. Jerry Jones never believed in him. Hey, Terry, I got a super chat. He says, I'm glad to see we are going in a different direction. You can't hide money and men don't hide their intention. Exactly. I said it then. Jerry Jones, the worst thing happened in his mind. I ain't gonna say the worst, but he wasn't too pleased with it. Let's go back real quick. What I've always said. Okay? I'm gonna give you a little recap of what I've always said. I said that he really did not want Dak Prescott to, number one, stay in that lineup when Tony Romo got healthy. Let's go all the way back. That was a Jason Garrett decision that I was shocked that Jerry Jones allowed to happen. Jason Garrett is the one that held up the banner for Dak Prescott when Tony Romo got hurt and when Kellen Moore, our backup quarterback at the time, got hurt and Dak had to get it done. We all know the story. Won NFC, Offensive Rookie of the Year, all that kind of stuff. Cowboy, I think he won 10 or 11 straight ball games. He couldn't come out the lineup. Jerry Jones hated that. With Tony Romo, Jerry Jones always said this for years, that Tony Romo can win us a Super Bowl. I believe he said it. That's what he said. I believe that Tony Romo can get us to a Super Bowl. That's why he paid him the money, didn't ask nothing. He said that. Let's go right after that. Tony Romo essentially had to retire, back tore up, obviously. Jerry sad that he had to, give up the job or whatever, took care of him with the CBS job, which Tony Romo is incredible at, without a doubt. Got him set up, got the big payday for being an analyst without even doing it 1 year. Jerry Jones had something to do with that. All right. That's the end of that chapter. The next few years, this is what we heard from Jerry and Steven primarily. That he's a great leader. The guys follow him. He's a great learner. He's this and that. He's a great guy. He's a great guy in the community. This is what we've heard. He's a true leader. But what you didn't hear was that the words for years, I believe Dak Prescott can win a Super Bowl. You never heard that. You heard it recently, but I believe that's fool's gold. I'll get to that in a second. You always heard Jerry say this. He's a great guy in the community. He kisses you babies. He helps people across the street. He lets crickets skip by. He don't step on ants. He let flies in his house. He tried to shake hands with flies. Stuff. He's just a real good guy. But what you don't hear Jerry Jones say all the time until recently is the skill set of Dak Prescott on the field. Most of his compliments come off the field. You don't never hear nothing about really on the field. This is what he's always done with Dak. Now, recently, he's changed the tune. He says that this is the year that he believed that you hear him say now, well, there's a great quarterback room because we got Dak Prescott in there. And then he's pretty much leaning on the leadership qualities of it. It's rare when you hear, a real big compliments on his on the field play. And case in point, not knocking Dak. Dak is who he is. It was a further cemented that they were right because look who's the NFL Man of the Year, Dak Prescott. That's off the field. They ain't got nothing to do with on the field. That's off the field type of award. It's a big award, almost like the MVP. Better, right on. It's on that level. It deserves all the accolades in the world. But just because you're the NFL Man of the Year, they don't got nothing to do with when it's 3rd and 8. They don't have nothing to do with it. 3rd and 10, you got to move the chains. They ain't got nothing to do with it. All it means is you're a classy guy. That's what it means. They didn't really never talk about that on the field with that. And I've always said I don't really believe that they believe in that, particularly Jerry. And now I'm going to go ahead and say that I believe I'm right again. Because, see, when you believe that you got a guy like that, and see, he's only 30 years old. 30 is extremely young in today's NFL. When you got quarterbacks playing today 38 and 39 and 40. I mean, he's young. He's very young. Got a lot of years left. Plenty of gas in the tank. But when you make a move like this, see, you don't have quarterbacks. You may go ahead and get another quarterback in the room. Teams do that all the time. You may get a quarterback in the room, but they may be drafted maybe in the 5th, 6th round or something like that. Nobody makes a trade for a 3rd overall pick when you already got at least what you trying to relate to the fan base and everybody that you really believe that you got a franchise type quarterback. You don't go get another franchise type dude. Whenever you trade to get a guy or you sign a free agent like on that caliber, you don't get a franchise guy when you already supposedly got one. You just don't do that. That goes against all NFL logic. Unless you don't believe you really got a franchise guy. And you just don't make this move. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it out here. And then I'll go to the Giants real quick. I'm re-establishing my statement that Jerry Jones did not fully believe in Dak Prescott. Let me put it this way. He does not believe in Dak Prescott the same way that he believed in Tony Romo. How about that one? Believe I'm safe on that one. He never brought a guy in to challenge Tony Romo. And Tony Romo didn't win nothing. Couple good years, hardly ever made the playoffs. Come on now. But he would all quickly say, Romo, if we could just get people around, Romo will win us a Super Bowl. He's got it all. He's got that and all that. Dak Prescott has had more winning seasons just about already than Tony Romo. He's got about the same amount of playoff wins that Romo had in his whole career. And yet, you go make a move like this. I don't really know if it's really that he believes in Trey Lance. What he really believes in is that he believes in that contract that Trey Lance has. It's set up too pretty for him. See, he get to diminish Trey Lance money, because Trey Lance can't, it's beautiful. If you're looking at it for, team friendliness as far as contract goes, it's brilliant. See, if Trey Lance don't get on the field, there's nowhere in the world you could be talking about, I want $40 million. You can't do it. and he ain't gonna get on the field unless somebody get hurt. I mean, it's brilliant. So when Trey Lance time comes, you know, Trey can't ask for no $38-40 million. He ain't played. You don't know nothing. You see what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a team-friendly type deal. And you get to build around your quarter, you know, what he's always said. What Steven say? Hey, you know, we want to do the free agents. We want to get the guys, but you know we can't do that if the quarterback taking the biggest piece of the pie. That's what he said about Dak Prescott. Well, with Trey Lance, you ain't got to worry about that. Because remember what Jerry said, y'all, even though it's a bunch of malarkey. He said, we got to save up for Micah Parsons, in which they already know Micah Parsons' contract would be just unbelievable. Everybody know that. But he acting like that I can't pay this guy and this guy. So he done came up with a strategy. But you wouldn't do all this if you really believed in your quarterback. There's no way in the world. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Dak Prescott in trouble. I say it all in to say this. Dak Prescott in trouble, y'all. Not this year, but the real fun for him starts next year. I'm trying to tell you. And remember, see, it makes no sense to sign Dak, extend Dak to a 5-year contract. Dak Prescott extension is going to be based upon Trey Lance's contract. You can't go over that because Trey Lance, what you trade for him for if you're not going to find out what he really is. And you can't overextend Dak because if you do that, you can't trade Trey. You can't trade him. So his value going to go down. I mean, you could, but I mean, it won't make any sense to extend Dak past maybe 2 years. Because you have to find out about Trey Lance. That's why you got him here. Or not, it is a wasted trade. Totally wasted. It wouldn't even make sense. So based off that and common sense, and I think Jerry is doing all this, and I think Dak in trouble, y'all. I don't care what Dak do. Dak could be the MVP of the league this year. And I'll come back and still say the same exact thing. That he's in trouble. Because see, if he win a Super Bowl and, you know, or if he was the MVP of the league, or he's some kind of way he's sneaking made an all-pro team, the price go up for Dak. I mean, it's obvious to me that you planning on, you know, you don't want to pay him. I mean, I'm standing on it. I'm standing on it. I don't think that they don't believe in him, and they have found the perfect way to transition. So they got to develop Trey fast. I believe again that he will take over Cooper Rush this year. It's not time to worry about Dak yet. But this year, he will take over Cooper Rush's job. Before this year is over with, this season, your number 2 quarterback, in my opinion, be Trey Lance. And then next season, off season, the fun will begin about Dak Prescott. Especially if Dak Prescott gets to a wild card round and lose. Or gets to a divisional round and loses. Or God forbid the Cowboys don't make the playoffs at all. The fun really will begin starting next year. Seriously. James, I 1000% agree with you. But we got an owner who think he's slick. We got an owner who really has not been 100% behind Dak Prescott. You're behind him now because it's a status quo. I mean, what else are you gonna say? But your actions have always shown, and your language when it comes to Dak Prescott, as far as his compliments goes, it's always been off the field or talking about leadership. You don't hear him talking about how good he is on the field. You never hear Jerry talk like that. He'll say he's the greatest human being in the world. They'll say that. But as far as, you don't make a move like this if you don't have immediate type future ahead. And not immediate saying this year. Again, I got to say that because it won't be this year. But next year, it's going to be the slow walk down. I have no doubt in my mind. I'm convinced of that. He don't believe in Dak Prescott. You don't make a move like this. You don't have a franchise quarterback and then bring in essentially another franchise quarterback. There are no two teams, no team that has a first round quarterback. I'm not saying Dak was a fourth round quarterback. Okay. We know that. But if you had to do the draft all over again, Dak will obviously go past, before the fourth round. We all know that. You don't draft a first round quarterback and then trade for a first round quarterback. That's not it. You don't really challenge your franchise quarterback. You really don't. Dak is only 30 years old. He got another 10 years. I ain't gonna say 10, but he at least, today's NFL quarterback plays till they 37, 38 years old. They do that. So according to, and the way that Dak loves the game, you will figure that saying Dak will play till he's 38 years old ain't so far-fetched. If you know that, then why you gonna make a move like that? And like I said, my whole situation have changed. Can't nobody take me off of it now. I said at the time it's a pretty good move. I'm sorry, I got a super chat here. B-Bird says they have never believed in Dak. That's exactly what I just said. I said it 5-6 years ago, and I'm right back at it again. You say Trey will be the number 2 quarterback by the bye week. I said before the season. I said he's going to get it. You say by the bye week, Trey. B-Bird, I said he will get it eventually sometime this year. JJ and his feels about the contract negotiations and got pretty with getting Trey. Yeah, I agree, B-Bird, 1000%. This is what he has to find out about Trey Lance. If not, that's why I was saying, I said it when he first traded. I said, oh, okay, all right. Well, this going to slow down all negotiations with that. Because if they bring him in for the future, you're not extending Dak Prescott no 4-5 years like everybody thought at first. Oh, no. The whole extension, if Dak gets it, will be based off of Trey Lance's contract, in particular, the Cowboys possibly picking up the 2025 year, picking up the 5th year option, which is to be 2025, 2 years from now. They got to find out about Trey Lance. I ain't saying he's supposed to start either. Hey, B-Bird. Yeah, I'm going to open it up in just a second. I'm going to talk about the Giants real quick, and then I'm going to open it up. But I don't know. I ain't talking about the Giants right now. Because I'm putting it out here. And I think some of you guys already agree. You make a move like this when you don't believe in your quarterback. I'm talking about fully believe in your quarterback. fully invested. He never brought anybody in to challenge Tony Romo. Never. And money interceptions, timely interception, costly interceptions that Tony Romo threw, he never brought anybody in to challenge Tony Romo. All the 8 and 8 years, all the non-play, he never brought anybody in to challenge Tony Romo. He didn't bring no first-round quarterback in to challenge Tony Romo. When he talked about Romo will win you a Super Bowl. He can do it. He talk about Dak, he's just a great leader. See the difference? See the difference? Tony Romo can lead us to a Super Bowl. Tony Romo can get the job done. He's a warrior. He can get the job done. Dak Prescott, he's a great leader. The guys follow him. They ain't got nothing to do with on field. That don't have nothing to do with on field. On field. He talked about Tony Romo on field. He talked about Dak Prescott off the field. Great man, great leader, great community guy, great guy, great. You rarely hear Jerry Jones say how good he is on the field. When he brought Trey Lance in, the first thing he said is, I tell you, the benefit is he gonna be in a great quarterback room. Again, that ain't got nothing to do with on the field. He just said a great quarterback room. And then he said, well, the reason why is because Dak Prescott is in there. Notice again, he's in the quarterback room, not on the field. Ladies and gentlemen, we better do something this year. That's all I'm going to say. Better do something this year. Terry, it really don't have nothing to do with the the only reason why I come slightly against what you're saying, Terry, on that is, appreciate the super chat, is because Dak can throw for 350 and throw for 3 touchdowns, and folks still gonna have the same opinion about Dak. Let's not act like Dak, and I'm not talking about you, Terry. Dak has thrown for over 4,000 yards. Dak has thrown for over 30 touchdowns, or pretty much over the last few years, over 30. So the quarterback numbers are there, but in that, it's still not pleasing enough to many Cowboy fans, because they still saying he not this dude because he ain't taking advantage of the big moments, and there could be some truth into that. But the bottom line is that when it comes to Dak Prescott, the language is always, as far as compliments goes, primarily off the field type stuff. Never on the field. I'm just saying. I don't believe that there's no way in the world that you would make moves like this unless you really don't believe. Because if you believe, you wouldn't do stuff like this. Greg says Dak Prescott stuck it to the Cowboys too with his current contract that has a no trade clause, and the Cowboys can't tag him at the end of his contract. That's true. But the no trade clause that's fine. I think Dak will get it. Like I said, if they would fool me, I would eat I get right back here on my show. I get right back up here. I promise you I will. I will get right back up here and say, hey, I was wrong. The only way really I'm going to be wrong in what I'm saying is unless Dak Prescott signs a 4 to 5 year extension. If they offer him that and he signs it, everything that I have just said so far is flushed down the toilet, because it won't be nothing to talk about. Hey, Thomas, I see you. It's nothing for me to talk about then because it will go past Trey Lance's contract. Right now, I really am putting it out here. I believe Dak Prescott extension is predicated upon Trey Lance's contract. I hope y'all heard what I just said there. Look no further than 24-25 season when the Cowboys have to make a decision on whether they're going to pick up the 5th year option. That's 2 years from now. If they extend Dak Prescott 4 or 5 years, then it makes no difference about the 5th year option. You see what I'm saying? It won't make a difference if they extend them to that. Then what I said just went down the drain. I'm saying, and Jerry Jones just got to fool me. I don't think Dak Prescott is gonna get I think if he gets an extension, it's gonna be just 2 years. Yeah. I think that's what it's gonna be. Serious. I don't see Dak Prescott getting a big extension. As far as years goes, he might get a big extension as far as money goes, and then of course he'll get another big bite at the apple when he goes somewhere else, which ain't a bad deal for Dak. I'm just talking about in terms of the Cowboys. I believe the decision has already been made on what's getting ready to happen. He'll have all this year to learn the offense. He'll have all this year to take Cooper Rush's job, which I believe he will do this season. And then he'll have all off season to get even more acquainted with the offense. And then when he comes into training camp next year, I'm talking about Trey Lance, it won't be any question at all who's going to be the second string quarterback next year. There is no question in my mind. None. And then the real fun gonna start. I'm just fast forwarding. You let Trey Lance get into all these preseason games and clown and really go to work. Oh my goodness. Cause see, Dak ain't gonna play too much in the preseason next year. Y'all, he ain't played in the last 2 seasons. So Trey Lance will be our preseason quarterback. He'll get a lot of work because that'll really be his first, real work in a long time. Oh my God. You let Trey Lance have some good preseason games. Oh my goodness. You know what the conversation gonna be then, right? Oh, I heard them fast forward this thing. I already see what's about to go down. And the only way that it's not gonna go down unless he signs a 4 to 5 year contract extension. And then I'll get right in and say, hey, I was wrong. They do believe in Dak Prescott. Because that's what I'm gonna say. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I believe Jerry Jones in his own way has gotten rid of possibly, and keep in mind one other thing, y'all, before I let it go. The salary cap is gonna go up. Y'all do know that. Everybody knows that. So he don't want to pay Dak Prescott no $50-60 million a year. When he got a guy on the bench who he probably think the gap ain't too far. Trey Lance is 23 years old. Ain't nowhere near his prime. If there is one, I may add. But, I'm just saying. It don't look good for Dak. I, of course, think it's wrong. Joe said, what would happen if Dak wins the Super Bowl this year? The price tag would go up. It'd be kind of like Joe Flacco that year when Baltimore won the Super Bowl when he bet on himself. If Dak Prescott, I'm saying Dak don't even have to have, hey, Jay Recruiter, Dak don't even have to win the Super Bowl. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Dak can just have a Pro Bowl season. And when you look at the Pro Bowl, you get 3 quarterbacks, and that's who it is. Dak can just throw for 4,000 yards, and Dak can throw for over 30 touchdowns, which he's done on multiple occasions. That's all he need to do. And the paycheck grows. paycheck grows. And I even make it even clearer. Cowboys were what 12 and 4, 12 and 5 the last 2 years, 12 wins the last 2 years. If you win 12, 13 this year, bam. Price tag just went up. Just that quick. That's what's gonna happen. Any form of success, the price tag goes up. Exactly, Thomas. That's exactly what I just said. Because we're the Cowboy fans are by the moment type fan base. These are the same people that last year said, because Cooper Rush went 4-1, who only was throwing for 171 yards. These are the same people that said that Cooper Rush should be our starter. So you already know, Thomas, that if this dude Trey Lance next year in preseason, has a pretty good preseason, they are going to say he should start. Because remember, the last 2 seasons, Dak Prescott has not played in the preseason. So guess what? Trey Lance and whoever our backup quarterback gonna be, whoever it is, they're gonna run the show. I'm just saying that this is the same group that said Cooper Rush should be started. When they gave all the credit to Cooper Rush, but everybody knows the defense was playing lights out at that particular time. Lights out. Cooper Rush wasn't throwing for no 300 yards every game. In some of them games, he was throwing for 170 yards. Come on now. Y'all ain't forgot. I ain't saying Cooper Rush is not a good football player. I'm the one that said he should be one of the most highest paid backup quarterbacks in the league. I said that. I was glad when we got him back. I was glad we signed Cooper Rush to the contract. But I ain't never said he's supposed to take over that. Now, some of our fan base did say that. Some of them, look. The fun is getting ready to begin for Dak next year. The fun, however, is about to end this year, however, for Cooper Rush. He's about to get the short end of the stick. There's no question in my mind. I hope y'all sharing it. If y'all like what I'm saying, if you're on Facebook, hit that like button. If you on YouTube, smash that heart button for me if y'all don't mind. This will help your boy out with the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. And help push the show into other people's faces. I sat and thought about it, especially the key thing for me was, I was under the assumption that the organization knew that Trey Lance was coming. And then we found out that this was all Jerry. Steven didn't even know. Forget Coach McCarthy. We know he didn't know. Folks upset because he didn't tell Dak and all that kind of stuff. Look, he didn't tell nobody. Forget Dak. He didn't tell nobody, even his son. Huh? See what I'm saying? This is what the problem is. And Jerry has it wasn't by no moment. Jerry in his mind sat and thought this thing out, at least to what his knowledge is. And he has a plan in place for the next 2 to 3 years. And it's going to happen because he's the one that made the trade. And he's not about to look stupid for anybody. Trey Lance is going to be, look, another couple years from now, look, we may have to pull this show up 2 years from now. Whatever date this is, September the 2nd, 2023. Check this time out 2 years from now. Dak Prescott, I'm saying it right now. Not right now, Dak. But in 2 years, not because of your play, not because of whatever. It's gonna be because Jerry Jones don't believe in you, sir. Not the way that a franchise quarterback should be treated. 2 years from now, sir, you're going to be in trouble because he's already made his mind up on Trey Lance. Boy ain't hit the field. The young kid ain't started but 4 games in the league, and you make this type of move. I can't deal with it. All right. Quick thing about the Giants, because I haven't wasted too much time on this. Here's my thing about the Giants, then I'm going to open up the lines, because I know y'all got something to say about what I done said here. Let me go set this up. Yeah, I'm going to do that now. There it is. All right. Quick thing about the Giants, and I may have to talk about this more in depth the next show. Offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys against the defensive line of the Giants. And once you see what the Giants have, they've added another piece. They already had Dexter Lawrence. They already had Big Williams in the middle. And now they brought in Isaiah Simmons, who can play on the line as well, another pass rusher. They got Thibodeau on the other side. Those guys, they can wreck a whole game. They can wreck a whole game. And if the Cowboys, and the reason why I'm saying this is because our starting offensive line, or at least presumed offensive starting line, has not played. I saw Thibodeau and Williams and Isaiah Simmons playing in the preseason. So they have somewhat of a little rhythm going. I'll say that. But the Cowboys starting offensive line has not played at all. Tyron Smith ain't played in the preseason. Tyler Smith hadn't played in the preseason. Tyler Biadasz has not played in the preseason. That's our center. Zach Martin and Terrence Steele have not played in the preseason. So their very first snaps of the year, real live snaps, is going to be against the Giants. And if we don't smash them boys in the mouth, we're going to have a hard game Sunday night, couple weeks from now. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'll go in more in depth with that more, our offensive line against their defensive line. That's really the matchup for the night, if you ask me. I know most of you say, well, you can say that with every game, but in this case, I think that if we can have somewhat of a handle on their defensive line, I don't think that the Giants can sustain them. I don't think they can help themselves but get blowed out. I ain't opened up the line, but I'll go ahead
Call
and
from
B-Bird.
B-Bird. I ain't even opened up
to
the
accept, press.
I didn't open it up, but since B-Bird called, I'm going to go on and accept it now. B-Bird in the building. What's up?
What's going on, man? You doing all right?
Man, I'm trying to do the best I can out here, man. What's up with you?
Hey, man. So, you almost, line by line, you hit everything that I said. And I was saying this last Friday when the trade happened. Mm-hmm. It just kind of reiterated some things like the contracts. They were slow on signing them initially, when they could have signed them earlier. Mm-hmm. Then they ended up, not signing them again, making them play a proven year. Then they ended up being, playing up under the free agent tag. Then they had to go ahead on and pay him, but it took tooth and nail to get there. And so to me, they've always they don't treat him like a franchise quarterback. They treat him like a 4th round pick.
Yeah.
And so, because if you really think about it, man, this year in the offseason, Justin Herbert, you didn't hear any kind of negotiating through the media or anything like that. They just came to him and gave him the contract because of what he's done and made him a franchise quarterback. Josh Allen, the same thing. Mm-hmm. And so they never really treated this guy the right way, man. And so when that thing came out, I said, and then I found out that Mike McCarthy didn't know anything about it. The scouts didn't know anything about it.
Exactly.
And Jerry, man, is a narcissist, man. And so narcissists, man, they don't like losing stuff, and it's all about them. And so I said to myself, that contract negotiation been broke down, and he don't believe in him. And if you think that he went got Trey Lance to be a third-string quarterback, y'all crazy. And I saw that in Jump Street. I actually talked to a few content creators, and they are like, "Oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. It's a great deal." I say, "Man, this means something." Now it's a great gamble to take. But the problem I have is, why is Jerry Jones doing it? You see what I'm saying? It's not just adding talent. And so the thing about it, one thing that you said that I try to tell people this, and they argue the point. I said, you don't need a franchise quarterback that has not won a Super Bowl yet, that's trying to get there, and put somebody in that he got to look over his shoulder. That's never really been done. You just don't do it.
He never did it, B-Bird. He didn't do it with Romo, and he didn't do it with Aikman.
Yeah.
He never did it.
And it's just, the league doesn't do it.
No.
And so then you look at Brock Purdy, and one of the reasons why Trey Lance is over here is because they don't want Brock Purdy looking over his shoulder every time he goes interception.
Bingo.
But you can't have two young quarterbacks in there at the same time. And I'm telling people, if you add everything up, it adds up to this guy don't believe Dak Prescott is worth that amount of money. That's what it adds up to. And if you think Trey Lance could be the quarterback next year, man, that's what I'm telling people. And people looking at me like I'm crazy. No, because Dak is owed $59 million. And so something has to happen there. And I'll tell you something about the no trade clause. Dak could actually waive that if it gets to an impasse to where he can go to another team and get, a big payday. So he can waive that no trade. Dak can. You know what I'm saying? Because Carr did it this year. And so, man, you hit on so many points that it was just you was preaching to me, man. Because I'll be honest with you, some people make me act like, you crazy. No, this isn't crazy. I'm telling you, look who you're dealing with.
Well, the thing that, it's been right there in your face the whole time. And it was in my face. But what I'm saying is, the Cowboys have to make a decision on the 2024-25 season to pick up his fifth-year option.
Yeah, and that's going to be $20 million, man.
So, bingo. So, check it out. You're not about to extend Dak Prescott to a 4 or 5 year extension.
Yeah.
Because if you do, when are you supposed to find out if you need to pick up the option or not? You don't.
Absolutely.
Which would make the trade for Trey Lance a total waste. Because like you just said at the beginning, you don't make a trade like that just to say we're going to have a guy as our second and third string quarterback. Not this dude, based on where he was drafted. No, you have to find out what this guy really is. And the only way you're going to do that is unless he gets on the field. Bottom line.
That's right. And he needs to be at least second string quarterback this year. And that's what he's going to do. And I'll tell you this. The thing is I felt like Jerry made some calls, on-field calls. One of them was in 2021 when Zeke was hurt, not starting Pollard and sitting Zeke down. That was a Jerry thing. And I told somebody the other day, they was asking, hey, so when do you think Trey will be number 2 quarterback? I said, well, Jerry Jones said so.
Yes.
This won't be a football move. This will be a thing where Jerry's trying to bring this guy in and get him on in there so he can so if something happens, you might try to give him some plays, some little, like they do with New Orleans with that backup quarterback.
Taysom Hill.
They might do some things like that. Taysom Hill. They might do some stuff like that, man. That guy's going to push for him to be on the field, man. I'm telling you, if you look at it, his and Dak's, their relationship is frosted. It definitely ain't a Tony Romo thing.
Yeah.
It
wasn't even close. It's not even close. He never looked at him. He never looked at him with Rivera like that.
One thing that you talked about too, man, is that, and I didn't realize it, and it makes sense. Never talks about Dak on the field performance. Talk about his intangibles. He never talks about that. And
I've been trying to tell people that for years, B-Bird. I've been trying to tell people that for years, man. And what Cowboy fan base has always done is try to equivalent his intangible to like that's on the field. It's like a lot of people start trying to say because he was the NFL Man of the Year, they tried to quibble that to be like he was on the field. No, doc. He's just a man. He's just a great community leader. He is that. He's a good man. He's a highly respected guy. He is. But they ain't got nothing to do with 3rd and 8. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It don't have nothing to do with 3rd and 8. They never have talked about how good he is on the field. They just, everything they talked about was how much of a leader he is, which it helps on the football field. But you never heard it. With Romo, he can carry us to the Super Bowl. I heard Jerry say that plenty of times.
Yeah.
With that, hey man, he's a great leader. People will follow him. You know, that ain't got nothing to do with on the field. There was always that difference there. And that's one thing that it also, you know, to me, supports my statement when I say they never really believed in him.
Well, one thing they've never done either is just go all in on it. They have not went all in on it. There's no way that you take Amari Cooper away from. I tell people last year, they talk about that San Francisco game. You know what happened at San Francisco game? When Pollard left, we had one playmaker on the field. I don't know if you noticed that. But after the first play of the second quarter in that game, no other wide receiver not named CD caught a pass for basically 3 quarters. You're not going to beat that defense. I don't care what quarterback you are. With those kind of weapons. They took away the guy's weapons, man. And then one gets hurt, and then now you have nothing. And then they talk about would that go win? Man, you. What I'm trying to say is, you're supposed to put everything behind this guy and just go all out for it. And then they have never done that. And they don't do it contract-wise. They don't do it personnel-wise. Then they go with this guy from Boise State when you got a head coach here, a Super Bowl winning head coach play caller, but no, you're going to give a job to the Boise State guy. See, some of these things here, man, don't make any sense, but Jerry has never believed in this guy, man. And don't listen to his words. Look at his actions, y'all.
Yep.
And big time, you hitting dead on it, man. I'm telling you. And I've been telling people this for a week. And when it first hit, my son said, "Hey, Dad, we got Trey Lance." My son was 19. I said, he said, "Why you not happy?" I said, "Man, that's weird." And he's like, "Why?" I said, "Why would you get a guy with that pedigree to come in here? I mean, that's going to cause a lot of confusion. We already have got a Cowboys.
Yeah.
But now you're bringing in controversy. The thing is, I thought we were set up great for this year. I thought the quarterback room, the hierarchy was set up. I tell you this, when you have a franchise quarterback, what you usually do is get a franchise quarterback. You might get a veteran, or the second guy might be an experienced veteran, a little bit older, that's been around, can help that guy. And then you have a developmental guy, a 6th-round draft pick or something like that. That's the hierarchy that's usually there, because you don't want to threaten your franchise quarterback with nothing. You don't want him thinking about anything with a team like what we have. And I think that.
But check this out, B-Bird. But check this out, B-Bird. And this is a hard pill to swallow. And this is for the people that believe in that. Because B-Bird just gave a perfect example. I'm not coming against him, y'all. But B-Bird just said, you don't do this when you got a franchise quarterback. I think I said it too. Here's the hard part. They don't believe you're a franchise quarterback, B-Bird.
They don't believe it.
They believe.
They would have done it with Romo.
They believe that he's a guy that's above average, and he's a guy that can be replaced. A franchise quarterback is a quarterback that really, they can't be replaced. Yeah. I don't think they look at it. Now the fan base is kind of split. It's kind of like what my guy, I don't know if you can see the screen, B-Bird. True Cowboy fan, 1972 says the team will be better without that. See what I'm saying? And
can I say?
Go ahead. I'm saying, but that's how the fan base is split.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's just like I look there, I say, I don't know about that because I done seen that. I don't know to be better without him. I saw that, and they didn't look good.
Let me say this about Trey Lance. I like the talent. So me liking Trey Lance, what I feel about him versus what I feel about why he was brought here is two whole different things. Mm-hmm. Trey Lance is a talent. If they can develop you, good for us. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it, what they'll do is, because he's Jerry's guy now, he's going to get all in from Jerry. You know, he's going to get what Dak never got. Because Dak ain't never got the all in. They're gonna be like, well, he didn't quite make it here, but you never went all in on it. And so that's the issue I have. To me, it's just disrespectful to these, man. How they done this guy?
I agree.
He's proven wrong at every turn, man. And some people say this, and I'm gonna let you go after this. Some people say this, man, and there's gonna be a little bit. I hope you can get this. Some people say, man, Dak been through a lot. He been through this. He been through that. So he can go through this. He don't get through it, and that's true. And let me tell you something about I tell people this about my marriage, man. About a strong marriage. They say, man, other people got, their marriage went through this, their marriage went through that, and all this other kind of stuff. Well, me and my wife don't believe in putting our marriage through anything. I don't want to test it. And so what I'm trying to say is, all that stuff, man, that they trying to put, Dak through and all this to make him hard. Other teams ain't doing that. They're making it easy for their quarterback. They're not putting competition behind their quarterback. They're not taking weapons away from their quarterback. They're not doing that. They're making it easier for their quarterback, where the Cowboys making it harder. Yeah. And they're putting their quarterback through things that he ain't even should be going through.
Yeah.
And so I just want to tell you that, man. I want to tell you I appreciate the show, man. Because you telling me I ain't crazy.
No.
Now, one thing I tell you too, man, is that Jerry can shut us all up by signing to an extension. But that ain't fit to happen, because if it was close, they never would have made that trade. They are far apart, man.
Yeah.
They never would have made the trade. But if they sign him to an extension, I'll come on your show just like you and say, hey, man, I was wrong. They signed him to a 4-year extension.
Oh, they do that.
I see it happening big time. I see it happening.
It's not, because it would be stupid then, a stupid trade. Because
Absolutely.
And I said the worst case scenario is if Dak, not worst case, but if Dak stayed healthy, and that's taking a chance. I'm saying, let's just say that he does. Well, if he does stay healthy for the next two years or so, you will never find out about Trey Lance, because you're gonna play Dak. So,
but what about next year though? What about the offseason next year though? Because they got this $59 million. They're not gonna pay him $59 million.
I don't think that
renegotiate this offseason.
I don't think that they're gonna. Let me put it this way. I don't think that they would. I believe if they extend him, it will be on 2 years. All you gotta do is look at 24-20. All you got, that depends on how Dak really feels. Cause see, if he did a 2 year and he become a flat out free agent, trust me, he will get another big bite at the apple. That's what you see what I'm saying? So that'll be 3 years, 3 times that you get a gigantic big piece of the apple, and you can go and ride off into the sunset. That's the way I. That's where.
He might want to look at he might want to go to a franchise that he feel like they believe in.
If a team comes at him like that, they would want him. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying if they extend him 4 or 5 years, everything that you done said and what I done said today means absolutely nothing. I will come on here. I send you the link, and we'll get on here together and say we were wrong.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
We were wrong.
That's right.
But I just don't think I'm wrong on this one. I just don't.
I don't think so either.
And unfortunately, we really not gonna find out until really next year. You see what I'm saying? And unfortunately,
Dak better not get hurt.
Yeah. But I can see the handwriting on the wall, man. I can see it.
I can too.
I appreciate you, B-Bird.
Yeah, let me say this one thing, man.
Go ahead.
Because we older fans, man. You know what I'm saying? We've seen a lot. We've been through a lot. So, and we've been through this whole Jerry thing, man. So we know how this guy kind of operates a little bit, man.
Yeah.
And so when people say, well, you thinking like you think Jerry got nefarious meanings behind it. Oh yes, he does. This came out the blue. It came from nowhere, y'all. He didn't talk to a scout. He didn't talk to a coach, or he didn't talk to players. He did this on his own, man.
Yeah.
And so that's a
strange
thing right there.
It's strange. It's strange.
And I'm gonna let you go, brother. I'll talk to you later, man.
I appreciate you, B-Bird. Thanks for calling in, man.
All right.
Appreciate you. That was B-Bird, and a lot of people feel this way. And I'm reading the chat, and I'm gonna say this about it. Everybody in the chat is talking. Ain't none of y'all wrong. I'm serious. I'm serious. I've been one to say over the years, all you gotta do, I don't never erase my content. It's there for the last 3 years. I've always said that when it comes for instance, like let's say your team is down 4 points or so, and you scored a touchdown, and you playing against Tom Brady, and you scored and you took over, and then the Cowboys get the ball back, and they kick the ball off to the end zone, which means you got to start at the 25-yard line. You got to score more than a field goal to win. A field goal won't help you. You still lose by 1. And I said you had to score a touchdown. I said then that if you scored and Tom Brady got the ball back with 1:21 left and he's starting at the 25-yard line, the first thing y'all gonna say, because we all said it, is that we left too much time for Tom Brady on the clock. Now, your team just went up. You got somewhat of a defense, but the fear of Tom Brady made everybody believe that Tom Brady, some kind of way, was going to end up winning the game. And opposed to Dak Prescott, if your team just scored the touchdown, 4 points, you're up 4, and the Cowboys must score a touchdown, you ain't got all that type of faith in Dak. I've always said that about Dak. I'm still not that great kind of sure today. And I like Dak. I have always said that just like Isaiah Thomas, the former point guard for the Detroit Pistons, I done said this on my show so many times, but it fits right here again. Isaiah Thomas said this. They asked the question was, what makes the difference between a good player and a great Hall of Fame player? Isaiah Thomas said that the difference is that the great players are the ones that took advantage of the moments. When the big moment arrived, they responded. So far, Dak has not done that. And somebody right here gonna talk about, well, he got all these fourth quarter comebacks. I ain't talking about those, y'all. I'm talking about when it's playoff time, the play got to be made, and he is responsible for it. He has not taken advantage of that. I ain't breaking out that. I ain't saying he's not a good player. I'm just calling it like it is. It's the truth. If I've even said this. I just said this the other day of the week, y'all. I just said this the other day of the week. If I was to ask all of you guys, and I'm not asking you now, if I was to ask you, who are your top 5 Cowboys, offensively and defensively? Who are your top 5 Cowboys? Dak Prescott is not going to be in mostly everybody's top 5. Now, when do you have a franchise quarterback that's really usually, not number 1, to be honest with you? I even took the step further. I said, name your top 6 to 8 Cowboys. Dak Prescott may not be in your top 6 to 8. 7. I'm serious. There may be 7 guys before you finally call Dak Prescott on this year's team. On this year's team. So the identity is that, to me, it ain't got to be everybody else. I'm saying Dak Prescott is a franchise quarterback. I'm saying he is. However, he has to win a certain way. He has to. You can't put the ball in his hand like they do Mahomes and like they do Burrow and all that kind of stuff. You can't put it in his hand and say, hey, take us to the promised land. Dak ain't that type of quarterback. He's a winner. His record says he's a winner now. But he's not that. It'll be rare when you see Dak just grab the ball, just go completely off and is consistent with it. That's what I'm saying. I've seen him do the 2-minute drive. I've seen him throw the winning touchdown. But consistently, he has not taken advantage of the moments that he had. Now, a lot of that ain't his fault. When we go down 31-3 to Green Bay in the playoff game, and then Dak bring us all the way back because he did then, and then we still lose the game, that's not Dak's fault. Our defense couldn't stop nobody. Hello. But at the same time, when you look at the San Francisco game last year, and the game is right there, he didn't take advantage of the moment. He didn't play bad. but the moment came where you get to change the narrative about yourself. See, he did a great narrative when he beat up Tampa Bay. Oh, it shocked everybody, actually. It shocked a lot of folks. Like, oh my God, 370 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and ran one in. Oh my God, what a game by Dak Prescott. Everybody was shocked about that. They thought that would have been like Brady. You know what I'm saying? So you get the kind of like the seesaw sometime with that. And that was not. That's why he gets criticized even by Cowboy fans. You see it in the chat here. We got plenty of Dak fans here, and then we got not so Dak fans, they Cowboy fans, but a lot of them are saying Dak really just, he's just not that guy. A lot of things got to go right in order for Dak, and then you got some Dak fans say, "Hey, this dude is the truth." And what I'm saying is, he's the truth some games. And then on some games, he's like the San Francisco game. I've always said that about him. I believe you can win. I believe you can win a whole bunch of games with him. I believe that you can win the Super Bowl with him. I just don't believe that you can win it because of him. Russell Wilson was playing like this before. When he first started out with Seattle, the Seattle Seahawks won in spite of Russell Wilson. He didn't have to be great. The defense was great. But later something changed, and the Seattle Seahawks started winning because of Russell Wilson. That's where we get all this let Russ cook stuff, because he was single-handedly, essentially put the team on his back and carry him on to win. That's the difference. I've seen Dak do it both ways. I've seen it. But how consistent is it? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this. And Cooper Rush had something to do with this as well. I'm not going to take it from him. He put 4 of them wins up. But Dak Prescott has won a lot of games, y'all. That can't be taken away. And maybe, again, got to go through all of them. Maybe it's in spite of Dak. Maybe a lot of it was because of Dak and his play, and having Amari Cooper and CD and Cedric Wilson at the time and Michael Gallup. That makes a difference. It's a big difference. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all, he gonna set the world on fire this year. I'm telling y'all, because there's a big difference between Noah Brown and Brandon Cooks. It's a big difference. It is. It's a big difference. Huge difference. You get a CeeDee Lamb. It's coming off All-Pro year. It's a huge difference. A healthy Michael Gallup. It's going to be ridiculous. You got a more explosive back in Pollard. Rico is explosive. Deuce is explosive. I mean, it's going to be different. And Dak going to shine this year. Dak is going to shine this year, y'all. I ain't got no question in my mind. But I don't think it makes a difference if he shine, if he has 6,000 yards passing, if he throw 40 touchdowns this year. I don't care if he the MVP of the league. Jerry Jones has said he has got a plan, J.R. Ewing style. He got a plan, and he's already working it. I'm telling y'all, enjoy this year, because after this year, it's going to be. Now, I will say this, though. Now, in fairness to my Cowboy brothers that's on here, and sisters, Cowboy brothers and sisters going to watch this later, I am going to say this. Now, this is just big time talking now. I will say this about that. He can't go to a wild card round and lose this year. He can't. I didn't care if they went and got Trey Lance. If Trey Lance wasn't on this team, it'd be the same thing. He cannot go to a wild card round and lose. He can't. Or we gonna have this conversation again. He can't. I'm gonna tell you, he can't even go to a divisional round and lose, because he's already been on that level. You can't give me the same thing this year. And I don't mean to put the pressure. I'm just saying this is really the expectation of a whole Cowboy Nation this year. With this roster here, no, you can't do that this year. And that's the only thing to be crazy, y'all. I hate to say it, but then it's gonna make what Jerry did justified. It's gonna justify what he did. If we lose in the wild card round, if we lose in the divisional round. Appreciate you, Terry. Super chat. He says, Dak fans and guys like me, realistic fans. I'm just calling it like it is. He can't do that this year. And that's a lot of pressure. Because really what you're saying is big time. And I guess what a lot of y'all saying is, man, look, we can only talk unless you made the NFC Championship game. Y'all know how hard that is. That's really what we're saying. Because wild card, we can't. If you win the wild card game, okay, that means you have 3 playoff wins. Okay, you did that before, so okay, that ain't. We know you can do that. We saw that. Okay, let's go to the division round. You ain't never won a division round. You never won that. So if you win that, okay, bam. Now you at the game where everybody says, like Thomas just said. Thomas just saying we got to at least get to the conference championship game. I'm 1,000% in agreement with that. Cause see, anything less than that, then that gives Jerry to say, "Hey, now y'all see why I did what I did. I gave him the best roster possible. I gave him a top, well, at least what we figure will probably be a top 5 defense. I gave him a top 5 defense. I gave him explosive players everywhere. I gave him explosive players on offense. I gave him a running back. I gave him wide receivers. He got an all-pro wide receiver. I gave him a 1,000-yard, receiver, Brandon Cooks, consistently over the years. I gave him, healthy Michael Gallup. I got 3 Pro Bowlers on the line. What else can I do? This is what he showed me. Greg has a long comment. I'm not going to put up because I have to read it, but you guys see it in there. He said, we all think that Trey Lance is going to be the starter. What have we done? What has he done in the league? Nothing but started 4 games. Don't care about him being picked 3rd in the draft and yet couldn't beat out a 7th round quarterback pick or beat out Sam Darnold. Injuries or not, he hasn't proven anything. If he was, then he would be, quote, QB1 for the 49ers. Part of Greg, what you said, I believe is true. But I think it's the case of Dak Prescott and Tony Romo that Purdy won. And here's the case again. Did Purdy really win those games? Or was that number 1 defense in San Francisco carrying them? Purdy wasn't doing nothing incredibly spectacular. He had an all-pro running back in Christian McCaffrey. And then when you fake to him, guess what? Somebody gonna be wide open over the middle because linebackers trying to take care of McCaffrey. Not hard. That defense covered a lot of ailments that Purdy had. But Purdy gets the credit for winning. Kind of like the way Dak Prescott did when Tony Romo got hurt. They couldn't put Romo back in because Dak had won at that particular time, 10, 11 straight ball games. You couldn't sit him back down. Same thing with Purdy. And he's cheaper. Don't forget now, Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, in the draft. Last pick of the entire draft in the 7th round. I mean, he's not going to get a whole lot of money unless San Francisco win a Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? Purdy ain't, but Purdy going to get the credit now because he's the quarterback. But it was the number 1 defense in the league last year. See what I'm saying? Trey Lance had only started, unfortunately for him, the injuries is what killed Trey Lance. It wasn't the play. I mean, he missed all of last year. Previous to that, he only started 4 games. He coming just straight out of North Dakota State. Come on now. He's still learning. He really is a puppy For real. He ain't learned enough. He couldn't even practice. Of course Purdy gonna beat him out. While Shanahan is going to, as far as Sam Darnold goes, well, Sam Darnold's a smart guy, picks up an offense. Plus, he had over 30 stars in the league. And Trey Lance has only had 4. He ain't played football in the whole year. He gonna look way off. Of course, Sam Darnold look better than Trey Lance. It would have been a shame for Sam Darnold if he did look better than Purdy, if you ask me. So I don't think it was really hard to beat Trey Lance, to be honest with you. 4 starts, didn't practice last year, was hurt pretty much the whole year. Yeah, Sam Darnold looked good. Yeah, he's supposed to be number 2. That's why I was kind of, you got to go a little bit more detail on that with him. Yeah, exactly, Joe. Plus, Dak had a young Zeke that took the pressure off of him. I mean, you had the best offensive line in football. Then you had the real young Zeke who just destroying people. I mean, come on now. It wasn't, and Dak at the time was a game manager himself that year. But he did it so well that he became Offensive Rookie of the Year. It wasn't because he was throwing for 5,000 yards. Dak only threw for about 3,000 yards that his rookie year. That ain't nothing. But he had a great running game. He had a great running back. Had a pretty good opportunistic type defense. So again, the problem is with Cowboy fans is that everybody keep forgetting, and some people gonna say I'm making an excuse, but then I'm gonna counteract it with what the Cowboy fans who really got a problem with Dak is this. Dak is a 4th round quarterback, but Cowboy fans that can't stand him got 1st round expectations for him. That's what the problem is. And somebody gonna say, because certainly Dak has progressed over the years that he don't even look like a 4th round quarterback, I'm sorry. He don't. He's progressed. But there was a reason why Dak Prescott was drafted in the 4th round. And then there's a reason why, for instance, a Joe Burrow was drafted number 1 overall in the league. See, we compare a 4th round quarterback to the best quarterbacks, 1st round overall draft picks. That's the problem y'all keep forgetting. He don't supposed to look like Patrick Mahomes. He don't supposed to look like Josh Allen. He don't supposed to look like Justin Herbert. He don't supposed to look like Joe Burrow. These are the people that everybody keep comparing them to. And he gonna lose every time because he's really not a 1st round pick. There's a reason why he got drafted in the 4th round. And his overall draft was coming in was 4th, 5th round quarterback. There's a reason why. Y'all forgot it though. Y'all really believe y'all judging him just because he got the star on the helmet, which automatically make you think you're a number 1 draft pick overall. And at the same time, he ain't never been that guy. And that's not his game. That's not Dak Prescott game, y'all. But he has the tendencies at moments to go to that level. But that's not his overall game, y'all. He's a 4th round quarterback. But y'all forgot that. Y'all comparing him to Patty. He ain't elite. What 4th round quarterback other than Tom Brady? Now, come on now. All right, I'm done. I appreciate y'all forgot. I'm calling it like it is. He's a good quarterback that has had some great moments. Thomas, don't go there. Thomas, don't you do that? Because see, you add another show in. You say you still have a lot of Romo fans that still pissed off that Dak won the job when Romo was injured. These fans have never let it go. You got that right. And I even carry it up another notch if you want me to. And I think you know where I'm going with that, but I ain't gonna do that today. Because you see, it's some. Oh Lord, stop! I had to get Quincy Carter on here to talk about that. Me and him done talk. You know, it's a difference between a black quarterback somewhere else and then a black starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. I'll leave that alone. Let y'all figure that out. See that and for some, that is the reason. All right, I'm done before I get in trouble. All right, I'm gone. I'm gone. B-Bird, I appreciate the $5 super chat. But see, you see, you could get me in trouble. Say my comfort Prescott is Aikman. When Troy won the Super Bowl, he had a great running game, great defense. Dak is going to need that to win it all. Exactly, because Troy was never, Troy could put a team on his back, but he really never had to. Team was too good. Okay. But what I'm talking about is for some, and there's a lot in the good old state of Texas. I need to bring Quincy Carter on here. I need to bring Quincy on here and let him tell you. We've talked a lot of the horror stories that he had to go through as the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Is Quincy on here with me right now? Q, are you on here? I didn't know he was here or not. True. Quincy, are you right here? Quincy ain't on here. I'm going to be mad at all outdoors and Quincy ain't speak to me. Quincy Carter, are you on here, man? I need to have him on the show. I need to put Quincy on the show. So you can hear firsthand, not from me. I'll let you hear what it was to be a black quarterback, starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. And then oh no, I didn't, True. No, I just talked to him. I talked to him before. That's all. I thought you were saying he was on here. Okay. And I may need to bring him on the show. So y'all can hear it. I don't want to make it about racism, but hey, it is what it is, however. Oh, I get it. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard for Quincy to be better than Gary Hochbaum. That was during the transition year, and Bill Parcells and all that kind of stuff. I get that. For you, Shane, I truly believe what you just said. You don't care about the skin color. I do, but there's a whole crop of folks that do. What you talking about is Jared don't like Dak being the quarterback of America's team. Dak plays just good enough for Jared have to sign him. You said that, B-Bird. I didn't. But you said that. But I'm saying there's a lot of people, man. And when it comes to Jerry, now if Jerry was Jimmy Johnson and Jimmy Johnson kind of had this, this attitude, then we would give more credence to Jimmy Johnson, because we all know Jimmy Johnson got, football eyes and football talent. We don't get that type of credit to Jerry. Jerry Jones is the same guy that wanted Johnny Manziel. Y'all remember that? It was Steve, and they said, no, you can't do that in the first round. Take Zach Martin. Well, we see how that turned out, right? Jerry wanted Johnny Manziel in the first round. Y'all believe that? That was the truth. Y'all remember that? This is the same guy that wanted that. So Jerry ain't got no football eyes and all that kind of stuff. He's an emotional, fly type of guy. And some of this stuff, everybody talking about, well, the reason why Amari Cooper's gone because he didn't want to pay $20 million. That's a bunch of crap. And a lot of people, I'm not gonna argue with it. Jerry was upset over Amari Cooper not taking the COVID shot, and then seeing him at the Alabama game when everybody was wearing masks. Amari Cooper walking out there, and then I believe he got sick, and they had to ship him away, and that pissed Jerry off. And, you know, hey, I'm not going to come against that part, but I'm saying you let her go over a Pro Bowl receiver just because you upset. Charles Haley jacked his old tail up on the wall. You hear me? Threw a helmet at him because they ain't signed Emmitt Smith. And for 2 games, they went 0-2 in 95. And then he threw the helmet and said, get this man here. You see him let Charles Haley go because, you know, it would have been stupid for you to do that. They signed him the next week. The rest is history. They won the Super Bowl. Jerry an emotional type guy, man. Some of that is good, some of that is bad. This was an emotional, he want to say big decision, but we'll see. And I'm closing, I'm done. We'll see. That's it. Look, I'm almost gonna say this. If Dak get an extension this year, see, it was gonna happen before. That's if Dak gets an extension. If this season he gets one. It's amazing how things change, ain't it? All right, I'm done. I gotta get ready to go see my nephew in a minute. My nephew playing again. For those that don't know, my nephew is a wide receiver for the University of Wyoming. Devin Body Jr. That's his name, Devin Body Jr. Make it even easier for you. His number is number 2. Texas Tech and Wyoming will be playing in about another 35 to 40 minutes. I'm about to go lock in and get ready for my nephew. I'm so excited to see him play. Yeah. Thank you, Thomas. You keep add on to it. There it is. Yeah. And all he was talking about then that he wasn't getting the ball enough. When you talk about the Sting, you know. I'm just saying. When you start thinking back, it stuff makes sense. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. But I'm out. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for hanging with me for a while and listen to my little tirade. You don't have to agree with me at all. And who knows, I may be 100% wrong. If the Cowboys say, hey, Dak Prescott signs a 4-year extension, I'm going to come right back on and say, hey, I was wrong. But until I see it, I'm right. Thomas is right. James Gary is right. And then again, true Cowboy fan, Terry Turner may be right as well. See, there ain't no real wrong answers on here. Not really. I don't believe they believe in Dak Prescott at all. And I truly believe that. All right. I'm done. Appreciate y'all for hanging with me. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm fired up. Wyoming Cowboys against Texas Tech Red Raiders tonight. I know y'all going to watch something else, but that's what I'm going to be watching. Y'all don't have to watch it. There's a lot of great games on tonight. I'm going to be watching my nephew cheering for him hard. All right. We'll see y'all. Just turn on the notifications. I'll be with you shortly. All right. See y'all soon. We out of here. This has been the one and only, the Big Time Show.